name is Lorena. A study was done on children that showed, even when given the opportunity, 11% of them still choose to communicate using their devices. Now, you may ask yourself, why is this important to you? Well, with social media becoming one of the primary sources of communicating, it's ruining our children's social skills. Now, if I were to ask all you children in the audience to unplug for 20 minutes, how would that make you feel? Could you do it? It's 20 minutes. Shut off your device. How would that make you feel? Will your anxiety start to set in? Will you wonder how many missed calls you missed or text messages? Will you be curious to know how many likes you received on a post? Because of the influence that social media has on our children, it's paralyzing them to socialize with each other in a face-to-face setting. The lack of verbal communication that our children have with each other doesn't allow them to interpret certain gestures, such as facial expressions and body language. Now, according to Catherine Steinert at Here, who is a child psychologist and the author of The Big Disconnect, says, and I'm paraphrasing, "There's no question children are missing out on very critical social skills. Even the smallest voice inclination causes it to be rendered invisible." Now, we've all are guilty of allowing our children to use their devices maybe a little longer than we should, myself included. Just as long as they're quiet, maybe you can take that time to do chores around the house and cook dinner for the family. But honestly, are we doing more harm than good? Furthermore, social media can be a very cruel place for our children. If your children could possibly be suffering from depression or anxiety or even low self-esteem, social sites can be very crucial and terrible to them. Those 250 characters and the keyboard, it can mean a lot to a child. Now, a study was done by Royal Public Health, and they did a survey asking children ages 14 to 24 how much impact social media has on their feelings. Well, the study found that Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram all led to increased feelings of depression in children, anxiety in children, children suffering from poor body image, and overall self-esteem issues. Now, children these days go on these sites and they see themselves on the sites and compare their lives to them. You have to teach your children that the things that they see on social media and read on social media shouldn't be compared to your day-to-day life, because social media is not real. The reason social media came along is because of you want to explore your so-called perfect life, but nobody has a perfect life. Talk to your children and ask them about how much and what influences them on social media. Now, don't get me wrong, social media can have its benefits. We all heard of people becoming famous from social media. Example, Justin Bieber, at the age of 13, uploaded his videos to YouTube and was ultimately discovered by Usher, who is the national recording artist, and he was signed to Usher. So there are benefits of social media. And then you can just go on social media for just pure enjoyment. However, the impact that social media has on our children is not preparing them for the real world. If I were to ask you guys to, what would be the first step you do in an interview? Well, ask your children. What's the first step you do when you get into a face-to-face? If you're going for a job that you want and you want to interview, what's the first step? Do you know? Maybe the first step would be smiling and giving him or her a handshake. That starts off the interview in a great process. Now, a bad interview would be you showing up possibly late on your phone and not interacting with everybody else. Now, social media and other social sites are not all bad. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is they're not preparing our children for the real world. They're not interacting with each other. They're taking social media to heart when they should take it with a grain of salt. I ask you guys to monitor how much social media sites and social media your kids have are using. And as an example, lead by example. We all should be able to have a conversation face to face without looking down on our phones the entire time. It comes off as rude and inconsiderate. I encourage you guys in the audience to take a second thought and think about how much social media has on our children's social skills, because our children are the future. So I ask you guys to unplug and take the time out and have a conversation with your children. Thank you so much.